Ani works as a dancer at a high-end club, known for her ability to connect with clients through her friendly and charming personality. Her success causes some tension among her coworkers, especially Diamond, another dancer. After one of Diamond's regular clients chooses Ani instead. Despite the competition, Ani stays close friends with another dancer, Lulu, offering support to each other in the challenging environment. One night, the club's manager, Jimmy, asks Ani to meet a client who speaks Russian. She meets Ivan, a visitor from Russia on vacation, and they quickly hit it off. During their private time in the VIP room, Annie's charm impresses Ivan, creating a memorable evening for them both. The next day, Ani leaves her work persona behind and returns to the simple home she shares with her sister. Later, Ivan invites her to visit his fancy home. During her visit, he reveals that he is the son of a wealthy Russian business. Oni excitedly tells Lulu about it, but Diamond overhears and becomes clearly jealous. As Oni and Ivan grow closer, he invites her to a big New Year's Eve party at his luxurious estate. Oni goes with Lulu and enjoys an extravagant evening. At the end of the night, Ivan proposes a deal. He offers her $15,000 to be his exclusive girlfriend for a week, so she can take a break from her job at the club. Ani asks Jimmy for time off, but he refuses. Determined, she decides to quit her job and take Ivan's offer, stepping into a more luxurious lifestyle. Living in Ivan's world, Ani experiences a life of wealth, meeting his friends, relaxing at the beach, and traveling to places like Las Vegas. In Las Vegas, Ani and Ivan dive into the city's fun nightlife. They hang out in Ivan's private suite, visit the casino, and enjoy the city's attraction. As the night goes on, they grow closer. Ani shows Ivan new ways to have fun, and he finds himself more and more drawn to her. But the thought of their week ending soon creates some tension. Ivan, knowing he has to return to Russia to work for his father, jokes about staying in the US by marrying an American. The joke turns serious when Ivan mentions that Las Vegas is famous for quick weddings. On a whim, Ivan proposes to Ani. At first she laughs, but his sincerity and their bond convinced her to say yes. They rush to a local chapel and get married. After the sudden wedding, Ani decides to quit her dancing. Her coworkers are happy for her, though Diamond makes a skeptical comment about how long the marriage will last. Ivan gives Ani a wedding ring and a new coat as tokens they love. They spend their days happily. Meanwhile, Ivan's parents find out about the wedding and ask his godfather, Toro, a priest with US connections, to handle it. Toro sends his associate Garnik to bring Ivan back to Russia at Ivan's place. Anya notices him avoiding calls and wonders if he's told his parents about their marriage. Ivan says he has. Garnik digs up info about the marriage and plans to take Ivan back, warning his partner Igor not to hurt him. When Garnik and Igor show up at Ivan's home, Ivan refuses to let them in. Garnik breaks the locks and Ivan fights back. Ani wants to call the police, but Ivan insists on dealing with it himself. During the argument, Garnik calls Ani a hired woman, leaving her upset and confused. Ani asks Ivan what's going on, but he's focused on the situation. To calm things down, Ivan lets Garnik and Igor it and shows proof of their marriage in his. Garnik takes photos of the marriage license and sends them to Toro. Toro, who is busy with a baptism, sees the photos and leaves, clearly upset. Back at Ivan's house, Garnik stays, waiting for Toro's next orders. Meanwhile, Toro calls Ivan's mom to tell her what's happening, making the problem even worse. He leaves the church and calls Garnik, telling him to put the phone on speaker so Ani can hear. Toro scolds Ivan for marrying Ani, which hurts her deeply. The argument gets worse as Toro blames Ivan for disrespecting the family and upsetting his mom. The situation becomes more serious when Toro reveals that Ivan's parents are coming to America to deal with the issue. Toro says he plans to take Ivan and Ani to City Hall to cancel the marriage right away. Ivan stays quiet, leaving Ani to defend their relationship, feeling things might go wrong. Ivan tells Ani to pack her things and come with him, confused but trusting him. Ani runs upstairs, suddenly even runs away from the house without her. Garnik chases him while Igor stops Ani from following. Left behind, Ani argues with Igor, who grabs her after a struggle. When Garnik comes back, he's her after a struggle. Oni fights back hard and Igor ties her up. When Garnik comes back, he's shocked by the mess. Igor explains that Oni wouldn't stop fighting, so they had to restrain her. Garnik orders her to be untied, but when Oni tries to escape again, Igor grabs her. Oni bites Igor during the struggle, and when Garnik tries to help, she kicks him in the face. As Garnik recovers, Oni says Ivan will come back for her. Igor doubtful points out that Ivan left and hasn't returned. Ani insists Ivan is getting help. Toro arrives at the house, angry at the chaos. He's surprised at how hard Ani fought against Garnik and Igor. But Igor says letting her go would only make her run away again. Ani suggests calling Ivan, but Toro tells Igor to use her phone instead. While Igor makes the call, Ani angrily complains about how they've treated her and Ivan. Toro apologizes for being rough. When Igor calls Ivan's phone, it goes to voicemail. Toro comments on Ivan being gone and not answering, saying it shows he doesn't care. Ani disagrees, standing up for Ivan and their marriage. Toro criticizes Oni, saying she doesn't really understand Ivan. He talks about dealing with Ivan's impulsive actions over the years and calls the marriage another example of being irresponsible. Toro says the situation not only damages Ivan's family's name but also puts them in trouble. Oni defends Ivan, saying she trusts him, and even hints that she might already be pregnant with his child. Toro reacts by saying this would be unacceptable. He tells Ani that the house she thinks is her home actually belongs to Ivan's parents, and the room she stays in is just a guest room. He adds that Ivan's personal room is full of spaceship models, which he thinks shows Ivan is still immature. Toro accuses Ani of tricking Ivan into marriage and questions her intention. Ani shows the ring Ivan gave her as proof of his love. Toro takes the ring, saying it belongs to Ivan's family. When Ani gets upset and raises her voice, Toro quiets her with a scarf. After things calm down, Toro tells Ani that Ivan only married her for a green card and offers her $10,000 to end the marriage. Ani says she wants to talk to Ivan before deciding. Toro agrees but warns her that she won't see Ivan again after the annulment. In the end, Ani agrees to his terms. Later, Ani gets ready and joins the search for Ivan. During the car ride, Ani confronts Igor, who had held her back earlier. Igor says he's sorry, but Ani stays upset. Their search takes them to a candy shop where Ivan's friends, Crystal and Tom, work. Ani asks them about Ivan, but they say they haven't seen him. Toro tells them to call Ivan, and when they refuse, he orders Igor to damage the shop. Under pressure, Crystal makes the call, but it goes to voicemail. Ani keeps asking if Ivan could be with another friend. Crystal suggests checking with Alex, who works at a nearby restaurant. The group heads there. At the restaurant, Ani asks Alex if he has seen Ivan or knows where he is. Alex hasn't seen Ivan either, so the group uses Alex's phone to call him. The call goes straight to voicemail, making them even more frustrated. Changing plans, Toro shows Ivan's picture to people in the restaurant, asking if anyone has seen him, but no one has. As they leave the restaurant, Igor notices Ani shivering from the cold and offers her the scarf that was used to gag her earlier. Ani hesitates at first, unsure of his intentions, but eventually accepts it as of the cold. Outside, Toro sees his car being towed. He tries to pay the tow truck driver to release it, but the driver refuses. Determined, Toro unhooks his car from the tow truck and drives away with the group. The search continues late into the night as they check places Ivan might have gone. Tensions rise within the group as they get more tired. Garnick, still feeling the effects of Annie's earlier kick, gets sick and throws up in the car. This forces Toro to clean up, making everyone's mood worse. A clue comes up when the group hears Ivan was seen at a club but has already left. They start checking nearby clubs, not knowing that Ivan has gone to Oni's old work plate. There, Diamond gets ready to meet Ivan while Lulu watches worried. During a quick dinner break, Toro grows more nervous about not finding Ivan. Oni then gets a message from Lulu telling her where Ivan is. The group rushes to the club and arrives just as Diamond takes Ivan to a VIP room. Inside, Annie confronts Diamond and Ivan. Toro scolds Ivan while Annie asks him for answers, upset about his disappearance and sharing the struggle she's like losing her wedding ring. She begs Ivan to step up and stop Toro from getting their marriage annulled, but Ivan is too drunk to respond. Toro drags him out of the club while Ani keeps trying to talk to him. Meanwhile, Diamond mocks Ani, making things worse. Ani hits Diamond and they get into a fight, which ends when Igor pulls Ani away. In the car, Ani argues with Toro, saying Ivan deserves a chance to speak when he's sober. Toro refuses and insists on moving ahead with the annulment. They head to City Hall. The group spends the night in the car outside City Hall waiting for the judge to arrive. At dawn, Ani tries to talk to Ivan, hoping he is sober enough to respond, but he is still too drunk to make sense. When Ivan's father's lawyer, Michael, shows up, Ani argues that Ivan's drunken state makes him unable to deal with any legal issue. Despite Ani's objections, they go to the courtroom. Ani tells the judge that Ivan being drunk makes the annulment process invalid and explains why their Las Vegas marriage is legal. Michael agrees that canceling a marriage from another state is complicated. The judge agrees and closes the case, making Toro visibly upset. In response, Toro demands that Ivan and Ani meet Ivan's parents to explain what's happening. Ani asks Ivan to leave with her, but Ani decides to meet his parents, so Ani goes along, hoping to sort things out. At the airport, Ini's parents, Galina and Nikolai, arrive. Ani greets them in Russian and says she's ready to be part of their family, but Galina dismisses her, saying Ani is not part of their family and Ani doesn't, saying Annie is not part of their family and Ivan doesn't love her. When Galina learns the annulment has to happen in Nevada, she arranges for everyone to fly there on their private plane. Ani begs Ivan not to go, but he agrees to proceed. Feeling upset, Ani objects, but Ivan ignores her and says he plans to go through with the divorce. Ivan thanks Annie for being there, calling her a temporary companion. Hurt, Ani stops arguing as Ivan boards the plane. When Galina tells Ani to get on the plane too, Ani first refuses, saying she will hire a lawyer to protect her rights, including possibly claiming Ivan's wealth. Galina warns Ani not to take legal action, threatening her and her family. Reluctantly, Ani gets on the plane. During the flight, Ivan's parents scold him for his actions and demand he take responsibility in the family business. Ani watches their family interaction and becomes increasingly frustrated. When Ivan dismisses Ani, she firmly speaks up, calling out his behavior and standing her ground. During the flight, Igor quietly offers Ani a drink, which she quickly finishes. She hides her frustration behind a calm appearance. When they arrive at the Las Vegas office, Galina asks the couple to sign a nomen pape. Ani pauses for a moment, looking at Ivan, hoping for a reaction, but Ivan avoids her eyes, so Ani goes ahead and signs the papers, ending their marriage. Igor suggests Ivan should say sorry to Ani, but Galina disagrees, saying Ivan doesn't need to apologize. Ani insists that Ivan should apologize for how he treated her, but Galina insults her, calling her unimportant. Ani fires back, saying Ivan only married her to go against his parents, leaving Galina speechless. Ani ends the argument by throwing her scarf at Galina and placing her coat over Ivan before walking away. Toro tells Igor to take Ani to the airport, but allows her to stay at the family's house for the night as long as she leaves the next morning. On the flight back to Los Angeles, Ani has trouble sleeping and Igor places his jacket over. At the house, Ani takes a shower, feeling overwhelmed by everything that happened. Later, she shares a cigarette with Igor. During their chat, Igor calls her by her real name Anora, but she brushes it off with a sarcastic comment. She also makes fun of his name during their exchange. Igor tries to comfort Ani, saying leaving Ivan's family might be a good thing for her. But Ani doesn't trust him, still angry about his earlier behavior and questioning his motives. Igor denies her accusations, but Ani isn't convinced and goes to her room. In the morning, Ani gets ready to leave, taking a moment to look around before heading out. Igor drives her to the bank to confirm her settlement. Money has been paid and gives back her wedding ring, which he got from Toro. Ani is surprised by Igor's kindness and offers to pay him back. During their conversation, Igor stops her and kisses. Ani gets emotional, hits him, and then breaks down crying. Igor doesn't fight back and instead holds her to comfort her. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.